Hello, welcome to Felix's Spacetime. In today's video, someone on Etsy called Rabbit 3D Printing sent me this Starship model, and in today's video we'll be unboxing it and putting it all together. So let's start with unboxing it. It's two separate boxes taped together, and we'll start with opening it now. Okay, so in this first box, let's see what we've got. So on the edge here, we've got some grid fins, I believe they are, taped to the edge of the box. We've got 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're actually really good design, actually. They're beautiful. So we'll put them just there. And then let's see what we've got. So we've got some bubble wrap. And then it looks like the bottom half of the booster there with all its Raptor engines. We've got this bit here, I think, that connects to all the other ones. Well, now. So we've got the rest of the booster that I think we pop them together. Yeah, so we've got the other parts of the booster. I think that the Starship goes on top of there. No, the Starship goes on top of this bit here. So it's actually really good quality, quite light as well. And this bit here as well. So I think what we have to do is we stack them together, for permanent, like to put them all permanently together. I think we use just normal like Airfix glue used for Airfix models. So that's the booster. It's quite tall actually. So we'll just pop that here, those bits there, and then we'll go onto the second box. They're actually really good quality models. They're off Etsy. I'll put a link to them in the description. You should definitely go and get them. They're brilliant quality. Scissors. Okay, so in this box I think we should have all the rest of this Starship. That's them just there. I've got them there. And that's all of it. That's so far we've got 4 grid fins, the bottom of the booster, the middle of it, and the top of the booster. And I believe this is the Starship now, the crew bit that goes on top of the booster. Oh wow! So that's the bottom part of Starship. We've got all our all 6 Raptor engines up there, and then we've got the top half of the Starship, which is this bit here. Beautiful, brilliant quality as well. So that's all that's in the box. So we've got our 4 grid fins, which we'll have to glue on. And we've got the bottom half of the booster with all its Raptor engines. We've got the middle part of the booster. got the top part of the booster. And then we've got the bottom part of Starship. That's two flaps here. And we've got the Raptor engines, and on top of here we've got 3 bits here and here, which I think slot into these holes just here. And then we've got the top half of Starship with its 2 flaps as well. And I believe in real life here will be a window for the people who go on the crew to look out of. And then we've got another one of those triangles to attach onto each other. So we'll start by just putting it all together, kind of just to put them all together before we start gluing them all together. So the bottom of it attaches on. So you've got these little triangle bits here on each one that slot into these, just for generally slotting on. Just like this. If I can get it in. There we go. There we go. So that is the booster. Oops. So that's the booster bit. Beautiful, beautiful thing. It's all really well designed and everything. All the triangles, they all slot into each other and everything. So we'll pop that just there. And then we've got the Starship bit, the part, which is pretty easy to actually slot in the others because you've got this kind of design on the front with all, and they just slot in like that. So it's actually really easy to assemble, generally. And then I think we should just put some glue around each bit and stick them on. I don't think much glue will be needed. So that's the Starship there. Really, really good design actually. And then we've got the booster here with its all of its Raptor engines, and here are the Raptor engines for Starship as well. And then together, I'll lay these down to put it together so it doesn't fall over. So like I was saying earlier, we've got some these 3 bits here and these 3 bits here just slot into each other, so it's quite easy to assemble. And then I'm just putting some glue on it afterwards. So that's it there. And then we pop it on to here. So we're coming apart again. Let's do it all again. So it's really easy to slot in. You can either glue them so glue the booster and glue the Starship, and not glue them fitted onto each other, which is nice. So you can have the Starship here on one bit. Pretty tall, don't think you can see this at all. And there it is, tall, very, very tall. And then we've got the grid fins here. We've got 4 of them, brilliant, brilliant design. With the spiky bit here and the flat bit here, the little hinge bit parts. So let's move that to the side. So we can either fit them on with blue tack or properly stick them on. I think we're going to properly stick them on. Just like out like that, like so, like that. I think it's like that actually, just like that, just on the side like that. And so you've got 2 parts here to glue them on, and 2 parts just here and here to glue them on. So it's time to put it together. So I'll be putting a touch of glue either on the middle of the triangle, or a touch here and a touch here. So the type of glue I've got is poly cement, a solvent-based cement suitable for plastic model kits only. So that's what I'm going to be using to gluing these all together, gluing the models together and the little grid fins, all 4 of them, onto where they're supposed to go. So we'll start with these 2 parts here, which is the very bottom of the booster and the bit that goes then on top of there, like so. So we'll start with putting a touch of glue, like I said, just a touch here and maybe a bit here. So we'll start with that first. So I'm going to get the glue out and I'll put just a small touch just here and then attach them together. Just a small dot there as well. Do it nice and quickly so it doesn't all go dry. Make sure if you do get this, make sure to do it carefully so you don't ruin any of the glue. So now that's on. Hold it down for just about 30 seconds or so, and then you can leave it on. Maybe put something heavy on, like a small pebble or a small stone, to make sure it's all flat down. So we'll put that there. And the next bit we need to put together is this bit where the Starship goes on top. So we'll be putting on this one, because it's got the triangle, we'll be just putting a touch of glue on the very middle. So we'll start with that now. Just a very small touch, you won't need to use much, and if you do need to take it apart again, it'll be very easy. So we'll put just a small touch just in the very middle, just to here. There we go. Lid back on so it doesn't dry out. And then make sure you do it very carefully to make sure not to ruin anything. And you just want to make sure that you slot it in place nice and carefully. There we go. So afterwards, if you still need, if you maybe haven't put enough glue on, you can always go back and put a bit more glue on. I probably will if it doesn't stick together. So we'll just put that to there to dry, and we'll go on to putting the 2 Starship, the top part of the Starship and the bottom part of it with its engines, or its rocket engines. So we'll start by putting a touch of glue on this one, because it might be moved around a lot more. I'm going to put a bit on here, just on the triangle, and just a dot here and maybe just there. So we'll start with that. Let's go. So we'll put just a touch here, just a small blob there, and a small bit here and here. Make sure to be very careful with this type of glue because it can stick very easily. And make sure it's all lined up. So this one's much easier to line up than the booster because of its design. So it just fits in there, like so. Now we've got those bits, and we'll leave that to dry for about half an hour, an hour, and then we'll come back to stick on our 4 beautiful grid fins. Thank you. Hello and welcome back. I've left the Starship and the Super Heavy model to dry for about 3 hours now, and now we're going to stick on all 4 of these little grid fins. I've looked at pictures of the real life-size model, and so there's 2 sides to the grid fin. There's a flat side and kind of like a spiky side. The spiky part faces downwards on the model, and on here we've got these little things that have already been made that we just put a bit of glue along here, and they stick just in place in between the little things, which is really, really cool and really easy if you'd like to buy this. So we'll start by gluing them on now. So as I said earlier, I'm using this solvent-based cement suitable for plastic model kits, which is really good, and it's quite cheap as well. So I'm just going to put a bit of glue just along here and stick it on the edge. So just a small, very, very small amount should do. If it comes out. So just a small dot. Remember, make sure this doesn't get on your hands or anything, because it will stick your hand to whatever you touch. So just a small blob of glue, and make sure to carefully place it on the edge of the bit that's already been made. Maybe hold it there for probably about a minute or two, just to make sure it's nicely in place. It's ready to glue. It's ready to dry. That first one's in place. I'll hold it for just a bit longer. I'll stop the recording now. So I've left that one to dry for about 1-2 minutes, and so we'll go on to our next squid fin now. Just like before, we'll add just a very, very small dot of glue onto this line here. Probably don't even need to squeeze the thing, because it will just, a small little blob will come out. So just along there, just a bit there. Place that down. And then, just like before, you're going to make sure that you've got the spiky bit, the spiky face of it pointing down. You're going to make sure you nice and carefully place it onto the ready-made part that's been put. Make sure it's nice and evenly in the middle, and stick it on. Remember, you can, if they fall off while you're making it, or they fall off after you're making it, made it, you can always go back, put some more glue on. Just hold it in place just for about a minute or two to make sure it's all dry and it's all ready to go. Welcome back. I've left the squid fins to dry for approximately 45 minutes, and they're quite solid, so it's very, very good material to stick together. So that's it now. I've completed both the Starship and the Super Heavy, the squid fins installed, and all 3 parts of the booster together, and the 2 halves of Starship put together. It's really, really good quality. It's really lightweight. It's got all the finest details with all the your engines. The squid fins are brilliant quality. You've even got this bit in here, and you've got all your engines on the bottom of the booster. So it's really, really good quality. I definitely recommend. You go to the link. I put a link to it in the description. I definitely recommend you go and buy it now. It's brilliant, brilliant quality. Comes really, really quickly in the post, and it's a really, really good model. If you've got any other models that you think you'd like to buy, but you're not really sure whether you'd like them or not, put a link to them in the description now. I'll try and see if I can buy them and do a review of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.